6 natural ways you can lower your blood pressure today. If you have high blood pressure, or what's also called hypertension, then this video will show you how to naturally lower your blood pressure in 6 simple steps. Hi and welcome. I'm Christian from Cardiac Rehab Online, and in this video I'm going to show you 6 natural ways you can lower your blood pressure today. From recent British Heart Foundation research, around 14.5 million people have high blood pressure in the UK, so that's around 1 in 3 adults. According to a health survey for England, 14% of men and 11% of women had untreated hypertension, meaning that they are unaware that they have it. It's also known as the silent killer. So what is high blood pressure? Well, it can be defined as systolic blood pressure above 140 or diastolic blood pressure above 90. Systolic blood pressure is the pressure exerted when the heart beats and blood is injected into the arteries in a blood pressure measurement, written as a fraction. The systolic blood pressure is the top number, and the normal systolic blood pressure is around about 120. Diastolic blood pressure is when the heart rests between the beats so it can refill with blood. This pause between the beats is called diastole, and your diastolic blood pressure is the measurement during this pause, before the next heartbeat. A normal diastolic blood pressure is around 80. Blood pressure, like heart rate, can fluctuate minute to minute, hour to hour throughout the day and change depending on what you're doing at the time. So now we understand how blood pressure works. Here are 6 natural ways you can lower your blood pressure today. So starting with number 1, weight loss. It is estimated that for every 1 kilo of body fat you lose, your blood pressure will reduce by about 1 milligram of mercury. So how do you go about losing weight? Well, being overweight, simply stated, is a symptom of our bodies being out of balance or stressed in one or more systems. So we need to reverse that and create balance by reducing the stresses, and that may mean doing some regular exercise, re-evaluating what you eat, have a healthy balanced diet, stress reduction activities such as mindfulness, Tai Chi, meditation, etc. So if you need to lose weight, your main focus should be on how to make yourself as healthy as possible, rather than taking on quick fix, short-term solutions just to getting those extra pounds or kilos off, as these very rarely work, especially for the long term, and can place the body under more stress. So number 2, diet. So let's look at 3 factors here. A, what type of diet should I eat? B, salt intake, and C, potassium intake. All of these are important to pay attention to. So A, there are numerous diet plans out there to follow, all touting various health benefits and often have conflicting dietary advice about what you should eat and what you shouldn't eat. However, when we look at diets, there are only 3 main components. There are carbohydrates, fats, and there are proteins. And it would be wise to have a balance between each of these, as they all provide nutrients for us that are required by the body on a daily basis. And we need to find out which one suits you as an individual. So for some people, they might have a diet that's higher in carbohydrates and lower in fat and proteins, such as an Indian or Eastern approach. Others may opt for a higher fat, higher protein diet and lower carbohydrates, which is more like a hunter-gatherer type of approach. And then the third option would be a Mediterranean diet, which is balanced between the carbs on one side and the fats and proteins on the other. So what I would recommend is to try each type of diet for you and to find which approach suits you as an individual best. So B, looking at salt. So most people will be aware that too much salt in your diet can raise blood pressure. So we need to look at reducing the amount of salt. And there are 2 ways in which we can do this: by reducing the amount of salt we put in our foods or cook with, and also to look at the salt content of any packaged foods that we may buy. The recommended daily amount is to be below 1500 milligrams. Now, you should also be aware that not all salt is equal. Table salt, for example, is purely sodium chloride and has the other 80 odd minerals removed from it. Whereas sea salt, or pink Himalayan salt, for example, contains a smaller amount of sodium chloride and has the other essential minerals intact for your body to utilize. So when you're choosing salt at the store, choose wisely. C. Too little potassium in the diet. Potassium is an essential mineral and electrolyte that plays a critical role in many bodily functions. For example, potassium is required to regulate your heartbeat and your blood pressure, proper nerve conduction, protein synthesis, glycogen, and muscle contraction. Potassium is found naturally in most fruits, vegetables, legumes, and seeds. In healthy individuals with normal kidney function, abnormally low or high blood levels of potassium are rare. A study published in the International Journal of Cardiology evaluated the effect of potassium supplements on hypertension. The review and analysis found that potassium supplementation decreased systolic blood pressure by 4.5 milligrams of mercury and diastolic blood pressure by almost 3 milligrams of mercury. So, the recommended daily amount for males is about 3,400 milligrams per day, and for females around 2,600 milligrams per day. There is strong evidence to suggest that potassium may reduce the risk of blood pressure, stroke, diabetes, and kidney stones. In addition, certain medications, including ACE inhibitors, diuretics, and some others, may also pose a risk. Now, in addition to this, certain medications may be contraindicated, including ACE inhibitors, diuretics, and others. These could potentially be risky if increasing potassium, so do check with your GP. Number 3, smoking. Smoking causes hypertension or high blood pressure in the short term and over a long period of time. This puts both young and old smokers at higher risk of developing high blood pressure when compared to those who do not smoke. A long study of nearly 30,000 people aged between 36 and 80 found that smoking not only raised blood pressure over time, but also put you at a higher risk of developing atherosclerosis, a chronic and progressive disease in which plaque builds up in the walls of the arteries. So, smoking raises your blood pressure immediately by activating your sympathetic nervous system. And long-term, smoking contributes to the development of chronic high blood pressure by accelerating the arterial aging, or how quickly the arteries become damaged. Number 4, alcohol intake. So, the recommended units are 1 unit per day for women and 2 units per day for men. But any way you look at it, alcohol is a toxic substance to your system. So to be able to reduce this down to its absolute minimum is going to place less stress on your body and consequently help in reducing your blood pressure. Number 5, physical activity. Now, we all know about the benefits of being physically active. However, there are some recommendations that you can follow. 150 minutes of cardiovascular activity per week at a medium intensity, so that would be about 6 or 7 out of 10 for effort. In addition, 2 to 3 sessions of strength training per week, 20 to 30 minutes, which helps to maintain muscular strength, tendon and ligament health, and the level of efficiency in the systems of the body. All right, number 6, last one, and probably the most important, sleep. This is our most essential nutrient. Sleep is when all the good stuff happens in our bodies to regenerate and repair all the stresses from the previous day. So, sleep from 10 p.m. till 2 a.m. we have physical repair, and from 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. we have psychological repair. So if you're not getting to bed by 10 p.m, then make a plan to do so. Getting a good night's sleep will really help the body to repair itself, reducing the accumulative stresses that are placed upon it through our daily lives, and will result in a lower blood pressure reading. Okay, so just to summarize, if you can identify with any of these 6 points where you need some work, Make that your starting point. Work through the list, and hopefully this will enable you to reduce your blood pressure naturally. Now, let me know what your main concerns are in the comments section below. Now, thanks for joining me today. Look out for my next video, and you can get it by subscribing. Click the subscribe button below and ring the bell symbol, and you'll get automatic notifications for my latest videos. Guys, stay healthy, and I look forward to seeing you next time.